Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing a cigar that's apparently the best cigar in the world right now, and that is the EP Carrillo Pledge Prequel cigar. This cigar is a quintessential Robusto size cigar, 5 inches long with a ring gauge of 50, and it received the insanely high rating of 98 for the 2020 Top 25 from Cigar Aficionado. That is ridiculously high. Let's put that into context for a minute. 98 is such a high score that the last time Cigar Aficionado magazine gave that score to a cigar was in 1993 for a cigar that was produced in 1958. A 35-year-old cigar at the time that received the rating of 98. 1993. It's been that long since Cigar Aficionado has given a cigar such a ridiculously high rating, and at the time it was a cigar, in fact it was two cigars, the 751 Alfred Dunhill and the Monte Cristo Selection Suprema No. 1. Both of these cigars received the rating of 98 in 1993. 35 years of age at the time. They were both produced around 1958. That's the kind of rating the Cigar Aficionado has given this relatively unassuming looking cigar, the Pledge Prequel from EP Carrillo. Now, I'm a fan of EP Carrillo. I do like their cigars. I know that I generally focus on Cuban cigars, but I love New World cigars as well. I think New World cigars are fantastic. And this is a cigar that I have tried before. I tried it last year, October, November time or something. I purchased a couple from a store in Wakefield, not that far from where I live. And I was in the store. I was buying obviously some Cubans, and he cracked open a new box and said, "Oh, these are some new cigars that just came in. Would you like to buy some?" And they were about £20 each. I didn't think much of them because Cigar Aficionado hadn't rated the cigar at all, and I wasn't paying attention to it. So for me, it was just another cigar. You know, £20 in the UK is kind of average in terms of price point. It's not that expensive, so I didn't think it was like, wow, this is going to be an incredible cigar. I just thought, why not? It's a new cigar. Try them both. They were okay. They weren't bad. I didn't think much of it at the time, but since then they've been given a rating of 98. So let's get into this review and find out if this cigar, after all the hype, lives up to it. Okay, now that I've taken the cellophane off the cigar, I do have to admit this is a very, very pretty looking cigar. The wrapper leaf is just utterly beautiful. Really nice glossy sheen to it. I love the look of it. It just looks so nice. In terms of construction, you know, it's a little bit spongy, and I feel like it's going to have a relatively loose straw because when I'm pressing on the foot of the cigar, it does open up quite a lot. I don't know if you guys can see that. You know, it feels like it's got a relatively loose pack, so I'm guessing it's going to have a bit of a loose draw. Not something that I enjoy, but we'll see how this goes. In terms of aromas, very peppery, but it's got a really strong nicotine smell. Almost like, you know those nicotine inhalers? That's kind of what this smells like. Very, very strong nicotine aroma coming off from this one. But anyway, let's cut this like this, get straight into it and start reviewing the cigar. First few draws on the Pledge cigar, and this is actually pretty good. Flavors are really nice. They're complex. There's nothing simple about this cigar. It is quite strong though. Like when I retrohale, it kind of made my eyes water the first time. It's got a kick to it. It's that spiciness, that peppery spiciness really, really comes forward. And I like spicy cigars. I like spicy, peppery flavors. So for me, that works really well. Admittedly, my favorite flavors are creamy vanilla notes or cedary, woody types flavors. You know, that kind of more Cubanish type flavors. But this is very reminiscent, or somewhat reminiscent, of some of those spicy Cuban flavors that you get. Except it's been kind of dialed up to 10 or 11 because it's very peppery, but it's not a simple pepper. It's not a simple spice. It's quite a complex, spicy note, which I'm enjoying. I'm really enjoying that. Quite a strong, woody, like almost like a oaky flavor just on the bottom end. I have to say, this is a great start to a cigar. In terms of texture, like that is one thing I've noticed. The texture of this cigar, when you're smoking it, the smoke that goes in your mouth, it feels really oily. And that is working really well with the spicy flavors. So I don't know if that would work with any other cigar or any other flavor profile, but with this particular profile, that oily texture along with that peppery note, working extremely well. Great combination. Coming into the first third of this cigar, and flavor wise, so far, or up until like a minute ago, the flavors were really good. The burn, excellent construction on this one. The draw is very good. It's got a good amount of strength to it though, but it's really nice. I'm enjoying the strength because it's just made me feel so good and mellow. I just feel really happy right now smoking this cigar. However, big problem. As I took my last draw, I just got this massive hit of tar, and you can see like a big splodge on the end of the cigar. I don't know if that's coming through or not, but it's this horrible splodge of tar, and yeah, it's all over my fingernail now. And that just completely ruined the whole vibe, the whole flavor and everything. Just horrible. The ash was holding, and then I took a draw and it fell, but I don't particularly care about that. It did fall in the ashtray as I gently put the cigar down, because I did look at it and think it's gonna fall now, so I thought I'd be careful. But as soon as I put it down in the ashtray, the ash fell. But the burn is perfect. It's just that big splodge of tar. I'm gonna see if I can cut past this. That is not a good start. Maybe it's because I only took a tiny slither off. Let me show you how much I took off the cigar. If I can find it. I literally took off the tiniest slither off the top of the cigar, which is kind of what you want to do, because you want to, you want to keep the integrity of the structure, or the structural integrity, as much as you possibly can. So you want to take off literally just the cap, or as little of the cigar as you possibly can, before, and hopefully get a good draw. So the draw is really good at the moment, but I feel like if I cut any further, I'm gonna have to, because that tar is horrible. But if I cut any further, it's just gonna maybe ruin the draw. And actually, you can still see like an outline of tar in the top of the cigar. So I don't know if that's coming through on the video, but you definitely can see a little bit of that. So let's see. Let me take a draw. No, that has fixed it. That has fixed it. Could be just the fact that I didn't cut enough on the cigar, and that was just causing a few problems. This is one of the reasons I don't like using punch cutters, because punch cuts are prone to having that issue. Even on a really good cigar, when you do a punch cut, it just creates this well of tar. Hate that. Absolutely horrible. And that's why I don't like using punch cuts. I know some of you like that, and if you enjoy a punch cut, by all means, continue. Enjoy that. There's nothing wrong with liking something, but there's also nothing wrong with disliking something, right? But yeah, this cigar, flavor-wise, let's check that again, because that tar just kind of completely reset everything in the worst way possible. A lot of the complexity is kind of fading a little bit. I mean, it started off really complex, lots of oaky flavors, very complex spicy notes, peppery flavors. Now I'm getting like, it's almost like a nicotine type flavor that I'm getting from this cigar. It's weird. There's still a nice, strong pepperiness coming through. But other than that, I'm not getting a great deal of other flavors at the moment. Again, it could be the fact that the tar that I got, the hit of tar that I got from this cigar, just kind of ruined my palate. I hope it hasn't. Wait, no, flavors are coming back. Okay, so maybe it is the fact that I didn't cut enough, and now that I've cut it a little bit more, the draw has opened up a little bit as well. So it's smoking a lot more than many Cuban cigars, but that's not neither here or there. That's just what it is. The draw's a little bit open, but it's not a loose draw, and the flavors are starting to come back again. Really nice, complex, spicy flavors. It's got this strong oaky flavor right at the bottom. Consistent so far. So first third, very, very consistent. And, I'm essentially coming to the halfway point at this stage. But, very consistent in terms of flavors. Very nice in terms of flavors. A few hiccups there with the tar and whatever. But it's coming back. It's definitely coming back. Coming to the halfway point on this cigar now. The burn went a little crooked for about a minute, but then it self-corrected. Like the ash has got a little flaky, but the burn self-corrected. I didn't have to touch it up at all, so really pleased with that. Construction-wise, it's really good. The draw is a little bit loose now, and because of that, it is burning just a little bit hot. Like, obviously the burn is there, but I'm feeling it over here. About an inch into the cigar, and I'm still feeling the heat from the burn. So it is burning a little bit hotter. In terms of flavors, there's been a very, very distinct transition. So a lot of those oaky, woody flavors, they've kind of gone by the wayside. But now what I'm getting is like the spiciness is still there, but just, in a subtle way. But I'm getting this really meaty flavor, like a peppered steak type flavor. And it's got this almost like a bite to it, which is a really nice flavor and texture. The oily texture has kind of gone by the wayside as well. This is definitely transitioning into something else. Maybe it's just me. I know that a lot of other people have reached out to me and told me that they sometimes do get a really strong meaty flavor from certain cigars, and this one is really giving me that as well. Like a good, nicely done medium rare ribeye. That's what I'm getting from this cigar. But yeah, I have to say, really good in terms of flavors. The draw, a little bit loose now. Not a fan of the draw. It was an open draw when I only cut off a little slither, and that was great. It's now a definitive loose draw on this cigar. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as a couple of the Davidoffs that I smoked in the last few months, but definitely a loose draw. So it's burning a little bit hot. Like, the burn line is obviously there, but I'm feeling the heat over here, about an inch into the cigar. Maybe I shouldn't tap it at the moment, but that's what I'm getting. And the ash is falling. I better tip the ash on this one. But yeah, the heat is definitely increasing in this cigar, so I think I might have to be a little bit careful in terms of how I smoke this. A lot of strength though, and that might be just because I'm more of a Cuban smoker, so I do enjoy milder cigars. This one definitely got a good kick to it in terms of the strength. It's not knocking me out, but I'm definitely feeling it. It's definitely there, and it's I am like looking at it thinking, okay, you've got a punch to you. Coming to the final section of this cigar now, and there is a little tear in the wrapper where the seam was, and I didn't do anything, I didn't drop it or anything, it's just opened up because of the expansion. Cigars expand when they heat up, so slight issue there, but not a major problem because I am going to put this down in the next few minutes anyway. The burn has been really good, very even burn throughout the cigar. Anytime it went off a little bit, it self-corrected, so no problems in that regard. Flavor-wise, however, after the halfway point, it became really bland and pretty mediocre. Like, there was just nothing there. It started off really interesting, and the flavors just kind of went downhill from there. At this stage, it's just I'm smoking a cigar. That's about it. There's nothing really interesting about it. There's no complexity. Flavor-wise, it's just kind of like tobacco flavors really, with a little bit of pepperiness. Nothing interesting about this at this point whatsoever. Overall construction, started off great. The draw was good, but then I got that huge splodge of tar, which was horrible, ruined the flavor for a bit. Did recover, but then as I cut it, the draw became too open, and then it just kind of overheated just a little bit. Once again, I was being very careful in how I was drawing from the cigar, so yeah, it's a difficult cigar. It's a really temperamental cigar, the one that I received anyway. But even the ones that I smoked last year, they were just okay. They were just when I smoked them, I didn't think much of them. It was just, okay, I'm smoking a cigar. It wasn't anything like that. So I don't know if I received, if the cigars that Cigar Aficionado received were different. Like, I don't know this. This is just, it's not even speculation. I'm just wondering. I wonder if manufacturers have the opportunity to send specific batches in for review. I don't know. Maybe, probably not the case, but if that is, then maybe they had some control over what cigars were being reviewed, and maybe that's why it got such a high score. But the ones that I've been smoking, the ones that other people have been reviewing, they haven't reviewed it anywhere near as high as what Cigar Aficionado reviewed it. I mean, consider the fact that they've given it a 98 rating, which is on par with a Cuban cigar aged for 35 years back in 1993. That is a ridiculous level to put this cigar on. It's such a high level. I mean, no cigar has received a 98 rating since 1993. And again, that was a 35-year-old Cuban cigar. So to put this cigar on that level sounds ridiculous to me. I don't buy it. I think it's complete nonsense. Even if they did receive like a special batch, I can't see how that cigar could match up to a Monte Cristo Selection Suprema #1. I just can't see that happening. So I don't know what's going on. This is mediocre at best. After the halfway point, flavors went really downhill. Mediocre. That's what I'm going to say. This is a mediocre cigar. Some potential, maybe aging it could work, but I don't see how aging could improve this cigar because, flavors are already where they are. And I think if they aged it, or if someone aged it, then maybe the strength would kind of seep out of it, and then a lot of the complexity would go as well. So I don't know. I think Cigarscape on Instagram gave it a rating of 89 as well, and I'm gonna say, yeah, that sounds about right. This is like a high 80s cigar as opposed to a high 90s cigar. Disappointing, really. It is a disappointing cigar. I was hoping that maybe the cigars after the rating, or maybe if I focused on the cigar a little bit, the scores would go up, but no. It's what it is. It's a mediocre cigar that somehow received a unicorn level rating. So, I mean, buy a single or two just to try the cigar, but I wouldn't recommend you buy boxes of these, because unless you want to sell them, because the prices could go up because of the fact that it got a 98 rating. But other than that, for smoking it, nah, I don't think it's worth buying boxes for. Anyway, just want to say thank you so much for watching my video. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you.